Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Roush, and welcome back to the postseason interviews of the Pokemon Speedruns Draft League Season 3. Today, I am joined by...
Eternalore with the Pittsburgh Steelixes.
Perfect. Alright, so you were thrust into a very awkward situation. We did have one dropout this entire season, and it was around the week 4 mark. And, So it was like week 4 that you joined on. You had to make up 2 or 3 matches at that point, and you were left with, in my opinion, was the absolute worst drafted team. The person you took over for was not very smart in competitive or draft type format, so you didn't end up with the greatest roster. But on the bright side, you did have the ability to make 6 transactions, and you did take advantage of each and every one of them. We're not going to go through them all because they're practically pointless, and there's no motive behind it. You just did it because the team sucked. So, you ended up with Tapu Koko, Goodra, Decidueye, Uxie, Yanmega, Weezing, Mega Aggron, Garchomp, Hawlucha, Malamar, and Amoonguss. Walk me through each of these Pokemon. What did you like about each one?
Well, first is that, it was, for some reason, he didn't have the Lucha with it, and that's just kind of how the Lucha happened. While annoying with the Knockos kind of cool, I found myself bouncing it between, like, a physical and a special attacker, was normally my Mega Aggron's really tanky, even... that 3/4 damage ability from super effective things is actually one of the. Let's see, so Hawlucha, Garchomp was one of the ones I switched out to. He's just always been a favorite of mine.
Yeah, Garchomp bounced around. I believe it ended up on 3 different teams over the course of this season. For some reason, nobody just wanted to keep it. I don't know.
It's such a good Pokemon, though.
It is, and it fits many different team types.
Like, you can strap an Assault Vest, a Choice Scarf, or a Choice Band on it. None of those are bad. Even a Life Orb's really nice. And it apparently could be a special attacker of some type if you want to be weird.
It can work. It's got a move pool.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think I used Uxie one week that was already on the team, and it's a cool Stealth Rock. But it doesn't do much.
No.
Amoonguss I kind of swapped in there because it was a nice tanky poison grass type. It's nice. I think I picked up Malamar and never used it towards the end. So that guy's just not there. The Weezing came with the team. It's an interesting one, but I don't think it fits it too well. And then Yanmega, just another one I picked up, and I couldn't find a use for it. I think I let people talk me into it and just didn't like it.
My bad, that was me. I take responsibility.
It's alright.
I thought it had a usage, but it didn't.
It just doesn't fit the team is the problem.
No.
Decidueye, it's a cool mod that I kind of like. Garchomp I really like. But after, I think, this would be the second season I use it, since I actually made the draft last time. It just wanted to do.
Nah,
exactly.
Amoonguss was just filling that role more and more, being the bulky grass.
I think Goodra was my favorite. So I think that's all of them after the Goodra. Goodra has a lot of utility that I never actually having the Pokemon on this team.
Yeah, the cool thing about Goodra is it's like most people don't think about it, but it is a pseudo legend. It does have the 600 base stat total, and the stat that really starts shining is that special defense. So you could use it as a very good sponge alongside your tankier Pokemon like your Garchomp, like your Amoonguss. Unfortunately, they're all weak to ice, but when you pair them all with a Mega Aggron, you did have a very bizarre kind of tank style not hyper offense, but bulky offense core. But,
Yeah,
you know, when you've got Kokolucha, it's kind of means to an end rather than anything else. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
That Lucha ended up like just being either I'm gonna sweep or I'm not with this guy.
That's kind of how Lucha works. It just is. I mean, it either gets all 6 KOs or gets KO'd in 5 seconds. It's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, so your set that you wanted to showcase for us today was this Gudra set that you used actually just this last week against Gorgon Z. You didn't really have nicknames. I can't blame you. You didn't really have a theme to build around or anything. But Sap Sipper for them beautiful grass immunities. Expert Belt for that little extra power. Draco Meteor, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Water Pulse. I apologize about Evasion Clause. I may have misinterpreted it. I'm not entirely sure. But the way I viewed it, I didn't want people lowering accuracy and getting into an accuracy drop-off kind of war. So I decided to forgo lowering accuracy, which is actually preventable. So under the clause, it was a misinterpretation and my fault. So you should have been allowed to use Muddy Water, because that's the only other water type move that Gudra can use. So I will apologize right now for that. Next season I will clarify the rule because I goofed it up.
Well, like also asking about the Sandvale thing because I saw a T-Tar. So I mean, that's probably me taking things too literally is actually what happened.
Well, no, I did tell you that you couldn't use Muddy Water, and I'm just going to quick clarify the rule, because we have a little bit of time. So the reason why Evasion Clause exists is if you lower your opponent's accuracy, they have the option to switch out. If you start raising your evasion, your opponent doesn't have the opportunity to make it a fair game again. Like, they don't have that option. They just have to take the fact that you're increasing your evasiveness. So that's what the rule entails. So Muddy Water, Sand Attack, stuff like that should have been allowed. But no, Sand Veil is not, because it's something that your opponent can't control. And that's where the evasion clause comes into play. And that was my interpretation being really stupid. So, on this particular set, walk me through it. Why the spread that you have?
It's actually the spread on the stats is actually a very basic. Hey, I'm a fast specialist. The attacks themselves, Draco Meteor is just a nice heavy hitting stab move. Other than that, it was looking at most coverage. Like he has. My opponent had Heatran and Excadrill.
Yep.
And
Gyarados.
The water.
And Gyarados.
Yeah, Gyarados for the Thunderbolt. I don't think Thunderbolt has anything else super effective that's coming to mind right away. And then the Flamethrower. I think is he the one with the Mega Venusaur?
Yes.
Yeah, even like it's the Expert Belt kind of negates the thick back. And hitting Burn is a nice little tick, even if it's not hitting for as much damage as it should.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
Like, just having that Burn in general is nice.
Yep. Okay, so we're actually going to go ahead and hop into that match right now. We pick it up here on turn 3. Tapu Koko has switched out. Train is set. You have an Aggron versus Gyarados. Here we go. Walk me through exactly what you were thinking.
Oh, this guy. So I ended up using the old team against Gorgon when we played in the first match. And I remembered the Dragon Dance thing, so I threw out the Aggron. He kind of just, like, as he's doing now, set up and hit the Roar. That was nice. I also got to set my Stealth Rocks up on the first, I believe.
No, it was still on the Gyarados.
Oh.
Like, he just got extra greedy and you took advantage of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that Roar's been an amazing ability I had, actually. basically, yeah, here we go. There's that expert belt working its magic, and a nice little confusion.
I love that play. That is so fun watching Water Pulse just confused like that.
Oh man,
That was a fantastic read on your
with
part.
such things in these leagues. Yeah, I was trying to figure out where he would go with this, and then of course I went for the Thunderbolt just in case. But Zygarde, Dazzling Gleam, that was something I've been doing when I see random dragons. It actually hits harder than I expected it to. Also, this Hawlucha made me sad. It was my fault.
I know.
I actually somehow forgot to add the Electric Seed and the ability.
Yeah, but hey,
So, like,
you didn't forget to put max speed on it, because otherwise you would not have outsped the Zygarde, because it's not that much.
I actually clicked the button to do it. I was like, oh hey, and I didn't realize I didn't see the defense.
But I mean, like, this
scroll over
creature
and
just
like,
takes over.
Oh yeah, it got what?
It's like 3 kills almost, yeah.
Like,
It just doesn't take anything from
Wait, I have
any
Water
special
Pulse and he-
attacks.
yeah, but then we get back to that, like this. That
I mean,
Flashfire,
That's a
wow, I
Flashfire
walked into
boosted
a
stab
Flashfire.
flamethrower off of a Heat Ram. That's 130 special attack, and even without
It
investment.
just takes nothing. I was
Just takes
like, oh
it.
no, Flashfire. And then I'm like, oh wait, Flashfire doesn't matter. I take. That was literally the thought through my head after that.
I mean, it's
He's
just
like-
an insane Pokemon.
Yeah, and it's nice, like the Water Pulse thing worked really well, because the Steel, it just damage from water, so it's still double effective on those guys, and it hurts. It really does. And the confusion hit on the right Steel part in that fight, in that battle.
Yeah. I also didn't hurt. I believe the Escadrille was scarfed, question mark. So he was locked in a rapid spin anyway, so I don't think he was staying in. But the confusion definitely helped if it wasn't. I'm not sure what the set was or not. But
Right.
anyways,
Oh,
let's talk
think
brackets.
It was Fast Jedi.
Let's talk brackets, man. Who's your final 4?
So Dolphin is like a goat, so I'm saying the Jigglypuff.
Okay.
I kind of want the Mono Bug team to make it. I just love that he keeps doing that. It's hilarious. It's great.
Yep.
They tend to dodge rocks a lot. On the other side, I'm thinking it might be Murkrow Manor
Really?
and Schnamps. I kind of like the way the trainer behind that team's been playing it.
Yeah, she's gotten on a little bit of momentum, but that's a
Yeah,
uphill
like-
climb. That's Ninja
There's-
and Gino we're talking about. They're 2 of the best battlers in
Oh,
this
yeah, I
league.
know. I think it can be rough. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be rough, but I think it can happen.
All right.
That, like,
Heard it here
Mimikyu is a
first.
monster. Mimikyu is a monster.
All right, and then for this one up here.
That's been the tough one.
Yup. Everybody said that. This is the toughest one.
Leaning towards Team Snipso?
You're leaning towards Gorgon? Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
you
like
could
the
pick
team.
any of those
I got
3,
the-
and you would have
Yeah,
at least
look at
3
that-
people agreeing with you.
Yeah, like, I do like his team. I think the first time we battled, I probably would have forward if I had the team that I had the second battle.
Yeah.
Like, the second battle, I was a lot less worried about things. So, like, I got some. But I do think whoever makes it up to there, that team can do it.
Who do you think is going to win the whole thing? Because you have Dolphin, Amoeba, and then you have Yaga and Gorgon. Who do you think is going to win it all from there?
I'd probably have to say it's going to either be Dolphin or... Because we got Yaga and Gorgon. I think Yaga might have the better matchup there, so it's gonna be Dolphin or Yaga. Like,
All right.
Dolphin is one of the roughest people to battle in the like league, honestly.
Oh yeah. No, he's
Dude's always got a counter. Like he's always got to keep up with. So.
Alrighty. Well, you heard it here first. Dolphin and Yaga as your final matchup, with either one of them coming out on top. So let's go ahead. We'll take a look at how you did this season. Again, you had to pretty much start from scratch with an already built team that was honestly not very synergized from the get-go. And unfortunately, I feel like in terms of what you did with the trades, a couple of them didn't do enough to fix that kind of synergy problem. Unfortunately, the main issue is the Pokemon that you wanted to play with the most, outside of Hawlucha, really didn't appreciate playing with Tapu Koko. So you did a lot with Mega Aggron, you did a lot with Goodra, and you did a lot with Amoonguss. Amoonguss, the crux of the average Amoonguss set is being able to guarantee put something to sleep, which makes it easier for anybody else to set up. Having that electric train on the field negates that sleep. Same thing with Mega Aggron. If it wants any kind of staying power, it has to run Rest as a recovery, because unfortunately there's no Wisher on the squad, and no healing Wisher either. So Aggron, the only way that it would be able to heal itself is with Rest, and it can't do that while terrain is up. So it's just unfortunate that your team style directly conflicts with Tapu Koko, which was supposed to be the best Mon in the squad. So it's kind of unfortunate that it ended up that way. But I feel like Garchomp was played very well for you. You played very well with it. You definitely used Hawlucha well. Could have been better, but I think with a little bit of practice and really getting to understand what kinds of teams that you want to use for a future draft, you can make them a lot better. But in terms of synergy, this team was very thin, and your team builds kind of reflected that. I'm actually going to hand you a C for that team building. A lot of it isn't entirely your fault, but just kind of something to work on moving forward. In terms of match execution, I feel like you did a lot better the further we got into the season. I think once you managed to get a team that was a little more for you, once you got your feet underneath you, you were able to do a little bit better in terms of match execution. You were playing from behind in almost every one of your matches, but that's the nature of a bulky offensive kind of team with a Hawlucha at the back. You really want to just chip, and then kill with one sweeper at the very end. And I feel like you played that really well, but again, kind of needs some work. There were some mechanics that you had problems with, especially, it's a learning curve. Draft is a learning curve, especially because I know you normally like Hyper Offense Rain is one of your favorite team types. But I feel like as the season went on, your match execution got better and better, and I'm going to grant you a B- in that aspect. Now, you never really had much of a chance at contending. You did inherit a team that started out like 0-4, something like that. It was 0-4. You actually joined in at the end of week 6 was when I called you up, actually, because then you had to do Geno, King K, and Gorgon the same week with literally 3 different builds. So it was not.
I made a lot of mistakes all at once because I was like, I'll just build them all at once. It'll be okay. This is the best way to learn. And then one build was with the old team.
And I mean,
that was some confusion happened from my mind, and I'm like, oh, fix these, we're good.
Yeah, I feel like despite that, if you look at those matches, you went 1 win and 2 losses.
Yep.
With only a -2 differential, bouncing between all these teams, building everything at once. And I think that kind of thing is a lot more indicative of your skill level than what most of the rest of the season can attest to. But I mean, look at those opponents' ranks. You won against Geno. not many
Yeah.
people can say that they've beaten Geno.
Honestly,
and you also
that-
got Gorgon down. So two of the better teams that you faced throughout
Yeah.
the season, you did great against. And I feel like with a little bit better prep and a little more control over your destiny, I feel like you would do a lot better. I'm going to grant you the rank of B- overall. I feel like that you're a lot better than this team would show, and the fact that you were a fairly decent contender last season kind of just proves this. I feel like you're not as bad as this team would and this season would lead you to believe.
Well, thank you. I
Any
appreciate
other
that.
thoughts for me?
I did want to say the Geno one. I don't think he should have kept that Celesteela as long as he did.
But I
was
mean,
the
it's
one
taking
time-
it's taking
I-
advantage of misplays. Like not
That was-
everybody can do that.
That was the one time Tapu Koko actually didn't negate sleep. I got the score up on the Celesteela, and he kept it in long enough for me to just set up. That was actually my favorite one for the team. It was great.
Yeah. So again, I feel like we hope to see you next season, and you're definitely going to do better then with a little bit of team control. But as
Yeah.
for all of you out there, I will see you all later. Roush is out. Peace.